Good morning.
All right. Well, Mary Don, you lead us in a word of prayer, and let's pray for Renee's foot today.
Yes. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We ask, Lord, we lift up Renee. We ask for healing of her foot. We ask, Lord, that you place your hand upon it. We ask that, Lord, that you just lead, guide, and direct us, lead this Bible study, instill this word in our hearts. We ask for a fresh anointing. We ask for renewed strength in all that we do. May we bring you praise, honor, and glory. In Jesus Christ's mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. We're on section 3, the astronomical book. Chapter 72 of the Book of Enoch, the courses of the heavenly luminaries. Who's going to read chapter 72? Gerald, you read it.
Okay.
You get started. This ought to be interesting.
The book of the course of the heavenly luminaries, 72 through 82. The sun is the person.
Yeah, I wondered, I've read some of this earlier in the week, and I wondered, because it hasn't said that I remember which angel was he with.
The sun?
Well, no,
Oh, Uriel. The one showing him all this.
Uriel is the one that is showing him all this.
Okay, verse 1. The book of the course of the luminaries of the heaven, the relations of each according to their classes, their dominion and their seasons, according to their names and places of origin, and according to their months, which Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, who is their guide, showed me, and he showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how it is with regard to all the years of the world, and unto eternity, till the new creation is accomplished, which dureth till eternity. And this is the first law of the luminaries. The luminary, the sun, has its rising in the eastern portals of the heaven, and its setting in the western portals of the heaven. And I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets. And the moon rises and sets in these portals, and the leaders of the stars and those whom they lead, 6 in the east and 6 in the west, and all following each other in accurately corresponding order. Also many windows to the right and left of these portals. And first there goes forth the great luminary named the sun, and his circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and he is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. The chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the heaven and returns through the north in order to reach the east, and is so guided that he comes to the appropriate portal and shines in the face of the heaven. In this way he rises in the first month in the great portal, which is the 4th. Those 6 portals in the east.
I'm going to stop you just a second, because I don't know if Herb and them quite understand, but how many portals? 6?
6.
So, here's a drawing I drew. Say this is the circle of the earth.
Yes.
Which one's 1?
One is way down here at the bottom,
Okay.
south.
So that south would be here. That'd be
south.
That'd be North Pole.
Oh, that's right. South is down here.
So first portal, and then it would just move up to the 3rd, which would be the equator. Then it moves up to the 4th, to the 5th, and the 6th. That's why it says the sun was in the 3rd portal of the spring equinox. That's how you know the head of the year every year, because it starts in the 3rd.
It actually starts on the 4th.
In the 4th.
When it moves from the 3rd to the 4th.
3rd to the 4th is a spring
Yeah,
equinox.
the 4th portal is the equator.
Yeah. Oh, okay. The 4th portal is okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then so like on his calendar, he's studied this caliber. Month 1 is a month of Abib, and it's the first month of the year, and we know the 14th day is the spring equinox? Or
First day is spring.
first day is the
Yeah.
spring equinox.
14th day is Passover.
Passover. So we know the Passover always comes on the 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this back out. We ain't talked about it in a minute, but he says day 1, day 2, day 3, and he don't have what are his months called? Well, he has seasons, autumn.
Yeah, this one starts off as spring, or the head of the year, which is the spring equinox.
But when it goes all the way into, see when it starts coming in from
It starts with
spring, it
4.
gets hotter. It
Yeah.
gets hot. The sun's hotter, and it stays in the 6th quarter 2 months.
Yeah, twice.
2 months, and
Yeah.
it's hottest in like August,
That's-
September.
Yeah,
Then it moves back out, and when it gets back out here to like January,
that's our winter.
it stays out here 2 months, and it stays colder, and then it starts moving back to the spring.
When it's down
again.
here, we're real cold because we're up here.
Right,
But that's their summer
Right.
in South America,
right,
like Australia.
right.
When we're having summer, right now they're having cold weather right now in Australia.
Because the sun is all the way in.
Up here, yeah.
It's fixed to start going back out.
Yeah.
Let's see what
What portal is it in right now? It's September. What portal does it show us now? Go to September. What's that?
in-
September the 14th.
portal 4th. It's back to.
It's back in the 4th portal.
So it's starting to.
And then next month's gonna go to the 3rd, and we'll start getting cool weather.
Yep. In October,
Yeah,
September, October.
yeah,
So about the middle of this month.
yeah.
And then to the 2nd portal in October,
When we go to
November.
the 1st portal, that's our winter. That's January.
1st is November, December.
Yeah,
And then
it's
January and December
stays in the 1st portal 2 months.
Yep. Then January, February, 2nd portal starts coming back
Yeah,
to the
does the 3rd
spring
portal
equinox.
and then starts
So
over
it's
the
just
4th
moving in and out on the circles, just moving in and moving out. The
Yeah.
sun and the moon. So they're spinning like this, but they're spinning closer to the North Pole, and then they go back out to the South.
And apparently not only does it change portals, it actually changes height. It goes up a little higher.
Yeah, he's got a good example. So like, so here would be here would be somewhere in here, probably the 4th portal, the equator.
Yeah. It shows.
So it's just moving in and out of the portals.
Mm-hmm.
Portal what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 5, and then it moves all the way in to
Yeah.
6 portals, and then it stays here 2 months, and it stays out here 2 months.
Yeah.
So it's hotter longer and colder longer.
Where those black dots are, that's where it goes out.
That's
Yeah,
the
that's
portal.
the portals. Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah.
I don't quite understand. It says when it goes into the western portal,
Mm-hmm.
then it goes to the north to get back to the eastern portal. I don't understand all that. I'm not sure what that's saying, but I don't know that anybody does. It's like it takes
So
a
the sun
shortcut.
rises from east to west.
Yeah,
I don't know what the study.
but something you need to
think
realize
so.
about the luminaries, they're living beings.
yeah,
They're angels.
yeah,
They're not just
yeah,
planets.
And all of this is the South.
yeah.
Yeah,
All of that. Yeah.
All of it's the South.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, I had to show that to you because
Thank you.
you might not understand what we're reading. I never understood all that language until somebody showed me. All right.
I guess I'm verse 7.
Yeah.
Okay, or 6.
Yep.
In this way, he rises in the 1st month in the great portal, which is the 4th. And in that 4th portal from which the sun rises in the 1st month are 12 window openings.
But in 6, which it says here too, which is the 4th, those 6 portals in the east, in the cast, I mean. So I
Yeah,
thought it said
I
east
think
cast.
it should be east.
Yeah, in the east.
Yeah.
First month in the great portal, which is the 4th.
Those 6 portals in the east.
Those 6 portals in the east.
Yeah. So it rises, which is the fourth, those 6 portals in the east. The fourth of the 6 portals in the east, I think is what I'm trying to say.
That's what you think it is.
What's really aggravating is how we've been lied to.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I told my buddy, you go fly in an airplane, you look down 30,000 feet, it's flat.
Yeah.
It's not round.
Well, you look out the window too, and the horizon
Yeah,
is
flat.
level.
Yeah,
It doesn't curve like that.
yeah.
At all. At all.
And
Yeah, it looks like
you
a
can
ship.
ask-
It looks like a ship's going out and it goes over the horizon, but you pull your binoculars up, it's just right there.
Yeah, it comes back.
Yeah.
You can ask I asked a naval aviator, he was retired, but I asked him one time. I said, how fast those, he was flying those naval jets, you know. I said, how fast those things go? And he told me, oh man, they go about 500 or 600 miles an hour.
Hmm.
I said, when you're flying at that speed, how often do you have to nose that plane down? And he said, we don't nose it down. I said, okay, now if the earth is round, eventually you would have to nose it down or you're gonna gain altitude. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at me funny, he said, no, we don't nose it down, we fly level. So if you're flying over a ball,
Yeah.
and you're flying level, eventually you're gonna gain altitude. Cause the earth is gonna curve away from you.
Supposed to.
You gonna fly out and out?
But he thought I was a weird,
Yeah.
I did this at a funeral.
I know, it was at it's our daughter-in-law's mom's funeral, and he was talking to this guy, and John goes, oh, Dad, he was glad it's that guy, not me.
But they can't answer that question. How come you don't nose an airplane down?
Mm-hmm. Ain't it funny how it says it's spinning 1,000 miles an hour
Yeah.
according to science?
And you don't feel a thing, huh?
And how would you take off in an airplane and the Earth's spinning 1,000 miles an hour? How would you ever get to your destination when you're flying 200 or 300 mile an hour?
You wouldn't ever be able to keep up with it.
Or think about this, let's say an airplane leaves New York up here in the north of the globe, and it flies around the globe, okay, and lands in Australia, which is that, they say is that down under. When it lands, they'd be upside down,
Yeah,
wouldn't they?
yeah.
Huh? You're taking off, you're going around the ball,
Mm-hmm.
you'd be upside down down there.
Good thing for gravity, huh?
And here's the thing, like, we had an eclipse last year, and the moon went in front of the sun,
Mm-hmm.
or something like that, and caused the eclipse, or what were they looking at on the other side of the world?
Yeah.
You know? What were
They
they,
missed
or
out.
when you go outside, you look up and the sun and moon are both in the sky, what are they looking at down under? What are they looking at on the other
Yeah.
side? It's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
They're spinning. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
You can go out there and prove that. When you're born again, you can look at creation and know God's in control. All right.
Okay, verse 7. In that fourth portal from which the sun rises in the first month, apparently there's 6 gates or portals, and there's also windows beside each gate.
Mm-hmm.
I think 3 on each
So there
side.
was 12
Well,
window
the Lord
openings.
said He opened the windows of heaven and flooded the earth.
Yeah.
And He poured in from heaven. He poured in water from the waters above.
And water came up from below.
From the bottom.
Right. Okay.
12 window openings from which proceed a flame when they are opened in their season. So right now they're open.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're getting so hot.
Mm-hmm.
When the sun rises in the heaven, he comes forth through that fourth portal 30 mornings in succession and sets accurately in the fourth portal in the west of the heaven. And during this period, the day becomes daily longer and the night nightly shorter to the 30th morning. In other words, the day, as you know, when the year starts off, basically when the year starts off, it's basically 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. But then the day begins to grow longer and the night shorter.
Mm-hmm. Then there's equilux, where the day and the night are the same.
Yeah,
That happens.
that occurs right before equinox.
Around the 17th,
Huh?
around the 16th or 17th.
Down around 16th or 17th.
says Enoch year equilux day, the 31st of March,
Yeah, which is,
and then there's a surplus divider day after that. So there's an equilux day where the night and the day are the same amount.
what day of the month is
It's
it?
not the 31st.
Huh?
It's not the 31st.
It's not,
No, it's the 16th
what
or
is this
17th.
day right here?
That's the third.
Oh,
Oh,
it's 31st, what day is it?
it's actually the 18th.
18th.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 18. I forgot
Okay.
about that.
It's 2 days before. Isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't the 31st.
318. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, verse 10. On that day, the day is longer than the night by a ninth part, and the day amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun rises from that fourth portal and sets in the fourth and returns to the fifth portal of the east 30 mornings and rises from it and sets in the fifth portal. And then the day becomes longer by 2 parts and amounts to 11 parts, and the night becomes shorter and amounts to 7 parts, and returns to the east and enters into the sixth portal, and rises and sets in the sixth portal 31 mornings. So you have two months of 30 days each, and you have 1 month of 31 days.
Where are you at there? In verse
On 13.
Okay.
And
1 and 30 mornings?
Huh?
31 mornings?
Yeah, it does 30, 30, 31. And then starts over again, 30,
So
30,
3
30.
30s and then a 31.
No, 2 30s and a 31.
Every time.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's four cycles.
So didn't we just have a 31 month in August? Yeah.
Yes.
So these next two will be 30 and then it'll be another 31 in December.
Let me see here.
Yeah. We just had a 31 in
Wow.
August. I think it was 31 days.
Well, you can't go by Gregorian, because
I forgot about that. Okay.
It's hard to get it out of our system, isn't it?
So you're talking about 31 days on his calendar,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
on the Enoch calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at what, 9/14? This is a 31-day month.
This one is.
Yeah. On the Enoch calendar.
Okay.
And then next month will be 30, 30, and then 31 again. So there's 4 cycles of 30, 30, 31.
Okay. Okay. What do you mean? Okay.
Okay, 13, and it returns to the east and enters into the sixth portal and rises and sets in the sixth portal 31 mornings on account of its sign. On that day, the day becomes longer than the night, and the day becomes double the night, and the day becomes 12 parts, and the night is shortened and becomes 6 parts. And the sun mounts up to make the day shorter. Remember I told you it actually gains elevation, so it says it mounts up. So the sun mounts up to make the day shorter and the night longer. And the sun returns to the east, enters into the sixth portal, and rises from it and sets 30 mornings. And when 30 mornings are accomplished, the day decreases by exactly 1 part and becomes 11 parts, and the night 7. And the sun goes forth from that sixth portal in the west, goes to the east, and rises in the fifth portal for 30 mornings, and sets in the west again in the fifth western portal. On that day, the day decreases by 2 parts and amounts to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun goes forth from that fifth portal and sets in the fifth portal of the west, and rises in the fourth portal for 1 and 30 mornings on account of its sign, and sets in the west. On that day, the day is equalized with the night and becomes of equal length. And the night amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. And the sun rises from that portal.
What's the parts of the day?
I'm not sure.
It's like morning, evening, but there's got to be in between.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how you split a day.
They're telling time by this too, like time of the day.
Yeah.
I'm sure where the sun is and the time.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I was thinking about that.
And the sun rises from that portal and sets in the west and returns to the east and rises 30 mornings in the third portal and sets in the west in the third portal. And on that day, the night becomes longer than the day, and night becomes longer than night, and night becomes longer than night, and day shorter than day till the 30th morning. And the night amounts exactly to 10 parts and the day to 8 parts. That's when we're starting to have, go into autumn when that's happening. Days are getting shorter, nights getting longer. And the sun rises from that third portal and sets in the third portal in the west, returns to the east, and for 30 mornings rises in the second portal in the east. And in like manner sets in the second portal in the west of the heaven. And on that day, the night amounts to 11 parts and the day to 7 parts.
So the night's longer.
Yeah, night's getting longer, which is when it's in the second portal, it's,
It'd be in
that's
the winter.
October,
October. So
part
what
of
about,
November.
so
That's coming up.
the time's fixing to change too. That don't have nothing to do with that calendar, does it? Time change? They don't have no
That's the
setback.
government, that's the
The
government
government, yeah.
doing that. Some states don't change though.
Do they not?
Yeah, Arizona and Indiana, they don't change. They don't do the daylight saving.
Right.
Neither do Stan and Corinne.
Yeah, leaders like
Renee.
Rupert Dennison, they don't change.
Renee's granddad, he never changed either. He had a pocket watch. They said in his overalls, he never changed the time.
Really?
Huh?
I don't change my watch.
Do what?
I don't change my watch.
Oh, okay. She don't change her watch either, she said.
Oh, okay.
I like it like this better. I mean, the days are longer. I don't know why they set them back like that. Okay.
Where am I at, 25?
Mm-hmm.
And the sun rises on that day from the second portal and sets in the west in the second portal and returns to the east into the first portal for 1 and 30 mornings and sets in the first portal in the west of the heaven. And on that day, the night becomes longer and amounts to double of the day, and the night amounts exactly to 12 parts and the day to 6. And the sun has therewith traversed the divisions of his orbit and turns again on those divisions of his orbit and enters that portal 30 mornings and sets also in the west opposite to it.
All right, so the sun's the one in orbit, not the earth.
Right.
What it says?
Yeah. It says, and the sun.
And on that night has the night decreased in length by a 9th part, and the night has become 11 parts and day 7 parts. And the sun has returned and entered into the second portal in the east and returns on those his divisions of his orbit for 30 mornings, rising and setting. And on that day the night decreases in length and the night amounts to 10 parts and the day to 8.
All right, there's a scripture. I'm going to get it. In Joshua, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah,
Chapter 10.
He speaks to the sun,
Mm-hmm. He
commands
says,
it to stand still.
it says, this is Joshua chapter 10, starting at verse 12. Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. He said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and the moon in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, so the sun was moving, and the moon stayed until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is this not written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven and hasted not to go down about a whole day. And then in the book of Jasher, I marked it in Jasher. It's 88. It's 63. It says, and when they were smiting, the day was declining toward evening, And Joshua said in the sight of all the people, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and the moon in the valley of Ajalon, until the nation shall have revenged itself upon its enemies. And the Lord hearkened to the voice of Joshua, and the sun stood still in the midst of the heavens, and it stood still 36 moments. And the moon
36 moments.
36 moments. And the moon also stood still and hastened not to go down a whole day. And there was no day like that before it or after it, that the Lord hearkened to the voice of a man, for the Lord fought for Israel. So
You know, you can show people that, and they still won't
They
believe
still won't believe.
that the sun's moving.
well, I had to get the scripture out because it goes with what we're talking about. It's proven to you that the scripture is true.
They would rather believe a NASA scientist, a liar,
Right.
than to believe
I know.
the Word of God.
Oh, let's read this right here before we go any further. I mean, this will kind of make it even
If I
better.
showed that to your brother Mark, he would not believe it. He'd say, "Oh, well, that's just what it just appeared that way to Joshua." That it stood.
Let's look at Genesis 1, verse 6. It says, And God said, Let there be a firmament. It's something that's hard and firm. And Job says it's like a sea of molten glass. In the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters. And God made a firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. So it's something hard. What color is the sky?
Blue.
And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And what gets me, he created the earth before he created the sun, moon, and stars. He created the earth on the third day. And science tells you that there was a big bang and everything orbited the sun. That's a lie. That's a lie. It says, and God said, Let the waters under the heaven, verse 9, be gathered together into one place, and let dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth.
Mm-hmm.
And you read on down, it talks about its seed in verse 11 and 12. And it says, In the evening and the morning were the third day. So he created the earth on the third day. But then he said, and God said, Let there be lights in the firmament, not outside of it, in it.
Right.
Of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let it be for signs, for seasons, what we're talking about, and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth only. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also, and God set them in the firmament, which is over the earth.
Yeah.
And this was the fourth day. So that cancels everything we've been taught from science completely out. That nothing but boomed and everything started orbiting the sun. And you see them Pharisees with them big hats on with the sun on their hat. They're like sun worshipers. They got their sun gods on there and they're sun worshipers.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of goes with what we're reading. I just thought I'd read it.
That's good.
So we kind of get a better explanation of what we're reading.
What did I leave off? 20,
30,
30,
5,
35?
I think, yeah.
No, we're not on 35.
Oh, we're not?
30, I think.
Oh, 30, okay. Well, no, 30, yeah. I think 31.
Okay. And on that day the sun rises from that portal and sets in the west, returns to the east, and rises in the third portal for 1 30 mornings, and sets in the west of the heaven. On that day the night decreases, amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts, and the night is equal to the day, and the year is exactly as to its day, 364.
Not 365.
So
it's 364 days, not 365.
right.
Huh. Enoch's a 300.
So here's the day you're talking about when it's equal. The equinox day.
Mm-hmm.
and that's day 364.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he didn't say there were more days in an astronomical year, but he said your years have 364 only. So you do have another day here.
And the day and the night's equal. We should
Yeah.
test that this year. We should test that this year.
Yeah. And then here, you have, he even talks about a surplus day. We'll find that in a little bit.
But it's after the 360.
It's after the 364. You have a surplus day. You either have one surplus day or two if it's leap year.
Oh, every so many years.
Yeah, every 4 years you have two. And then the year starts over again
Right.
with equinox.
So, we used a sundial to check the spring equinox this
Yeah.
year, and it was right on time.
Yeah.
We tested that, me and him. We had a sundial, and we set it out there, and we put it at the right angle and checked it coming into the portal. All right, go ahead.
My grandmother had one of those when I was a kid.
He's got one. He's got one.
And the length, this is 33, and the length of the day and of the night, and the shortness of the day and of the night arise through the course of the sun. These distinctions are made. They are literally they are separated. So it comes that its course becomes daily longer and its course nightly shorter. And this is the law and the course of the sun, and his return, as often as he returns 60 times and rises, for example, the great luminary which is named the sun, forever and ever. And that which thus rises is the great luminary, and is so named according to its appearance, according as Yahuwah commanded. As he rises, so he sets, and decreases not, and rests not, but runs day and night. And his light is sevenfold brighter than that of the sun, moon. But as regards size, they are both equal.
They're the same size. Yeah.
Now, what do they tell you in school? The sun is
way bigger than the moon.
sun is 93 million miles away from the earth,
Yeah.
and the sun is a million times bigger than the earth.
But what you got to realize in all this is a lot of people don't even believe that this is scripture.
I know.
That when the Bible we've got, the Bible, the Lord didn't say search the Bible, he said search the scriptures. But Jude is quoting Enoch with other scriptures in there quoting the Book of Enoch. They can't be found anywhere other than the Book of Enoch.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, well, these ain't for us. Well, the devil's deceived us, haven't he?
Yeah.
Hasn't
We're working on that, though,
he?
brother. They are still deceived.
Chapter 73.
Okay, I'll let you read it. I'll read 74 since it's longer. You read 73.
And after this law, I saw another law dealing with the smaller luminary. Now, how is it smaller if they're equal in size?
Luminaries.
Probably talking about the smaller in brightness.
Light, yes.
Name the moon.
Which is named the moon. And her circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and her chariot in which she rides is driven by the wind. And light is given to her in definite measure. And her rising and setting changes every month, and her days are like the days of the sun. And when her light is uniform, full, it amounts to the seventh part of the light of the sun. And thus she rises, and her first face is in the east, comes forth on the 30th morning, and on that day she becomes visible, and constitutes for you the first phase of the moon on that 30th day, together with the sun in the portal where the sun arises. And the one half of her goes forth by a seventh part, and her whole circumference is empty without light, with the exception of 1/7 part of it. And the 14th part of her light, and when she receives 1/7 part of the half of her light amounts to 1/7 part and a half thereof. And she sets with the sun, and when the sun rises, the moon rises with him, and receives the half of one part of light. And in that night, in the beginning of her morning, the moon sets with the sun and is invisible. That night, with the 14 parts and the half of one of them. And she rises on that day with exactly with a seventh part, and comes forth and receives from the rising of the sun. And in her morning, her remaining days, she becomes bright in the remaining 13 parts.
All right. You got anything you want to say? Chapter 74 says, and I saw another course, a law for her, and how according to that law she performs her monthly revolution. And all these Uriel, the holy angel, who is the leader of them all, showed to me and their positions, and I wrote down their positions as he showed them to me. And I wrote down their months. And by the way, he's the first scribe, right?
Mm-hmm.
First one to write.
Yeah.
We read
Enoch.
that.
Yes, Enoch is.
So this book, he wrote a book, and it's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's what this says right here.
Yeah,
The oldest book in history.
right. Because he
Book
was
of
the
Enoch.
first one to do writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote down their months as they were, and the appearance of their lights, till 15 days were accomplished. In the single seventh part, she accomplishes all her light in the east, and in the single seventh parts, accomplishes all her darkness in the west. And in certain months, she alters her settings, and in certain months, she pursues her own peculiar course. In 2 months, the moon sets with the sun in those two middle portals, the third and the fourth. She goes forth for 7 days, and turns about and returns again through the portal where the sun rises, and accomplishes all her light. And she recedes from the sun, and in the 8th day enters the 6th portal, from which the sun goes forth. And when the sun goes forth from the 4th portal, she goes forth 7 days, until she goes forth from the 5th and turns back again in 7 days into the 4th portal, and accomplishes all her light. She recedes and enters into the 1st portal in 8 days. And she returns again in 7 days into the 4th portal, from which the sun goes forth. Thus I saw their position, how the moon rose and the sun set in those days. And in 5 years are added together, the sun has an overplus of 30 days, and all the days which occur to it for one of those 5 years, when they are full, amount to 364 days. What are you talking about right there?
I think it means the sun has has more days in its year than the moon. The moon only has 354 days.
Every 5 years or something is what it's saying?
Yeah, and if 5 years added together, the sun has an overplus of 30 days.
Over 5 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
It has
Because of the nights that there is no moon? Would that be?
I don't know.
Because it says it.
It's probably going to tell us about the shades of the moon, the different, like full moon, half moon, all that. All right. Verse 11.
okay. This is where you have the extra day, the surplus days. Go ahead.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead and read that.
I think that's, yeah, see, it shows you all the
Yeah.
different phases of the moon. Waxing, new, waning,
Yeah.
3rd quarter. Yeah, okay. 11. And the overplus of the sun and the stars amounts to 6 days. And 5 years, 6 days, every year come to 30 days. And the moon falls behind the sun and the stars to the number of 30 days. And the sun and the stars bring in all the years exactly, so that they do not advocate or delay their position by a single day unto eternity. but complete the years with perfect justice in 364 days.
See, some people try to use the moon for the calendar, and it says right here, it says, and the sun and the stars bring in all the years exactly.
That's a
So he
lunar.
used the sun and the star, not the moon.
Yeah, not a lunar calendar.
Yeah,
That was given to them in what, Babylon? Is
yeah,
that what you said?
yeah.
So there's a Gregorian calendar, it's wrong. There's a lunar calendar, it's wrong. What's the other one?
The Jewish calendar.
The
Hmm?
Jewish calendar,
calendar.
it would be wrong.
Yeah,
The Enoch calendar is the only one that's
and very few people are keeping up.
yeah, won't even hear it.
Mm-mm.
And this one, it says this one though goes from eternity to eternity.
Yeah,
So it don't change.
nobody else was shown what he was shown, what Enoch was shown.
So God,
He was taken everywhere and shown how it all worked. Of course, he has trouble writing it down. Can you imagine trying to write that down
oh,
back then?
well, the angel showed him what to write.
Yeah,
Had to.
it's still confusing to us though,
Yeah.
or it is to me anyway.
In 3 years, there are 1,092 days, and in 5 years, 1,820 days. So that in 8 years, there are 2,912 days. For the moon alone, the days amount in 3 years to 1,062 days. And in 5 years, she falls 50 days behind to the sum of 1,770. There is to be added 1,062 days, and in 5 years there are 1,770 days, so that for the moon the days in 8 years amount to 2,832 days. For in 8 years she falls behind to the amount of 80 days.
Fall behind the sun was talking about.
All the days she falls behind in 8 years are 80. And the year is accurately complete in conformity with their world stations and the stations of the sun, which rise from the portals through which the sun rises and sets 30 days. You know, all these sun, moon, and stars and all that are keeping the law of God.
They're obeying perfectly
Yeah.
what they were commanded to do.
Yeah.
They don't come up late. The sun never comes up late.
Right.
It don't ever sleep in.
Right. Right. Ain't that something? Oh, that's really something to
Right
think
on
about.
time.
That's something to really think about.
Somewhere in the Book of Enoch it says,
What is it?
Nothing, I just listened.
That's something to think about.
Yeah.
The sun never comes up late or is
Right.
off kilter.
never goes down early.
The moon's not
Don't
off
close
kilter.
early.
Uh-uh.
I
It's
watched
consistent.
it rise this morning.
I know. I did too. I sat here reading my Bible. It was dark, and as soon as the sun come up, I went outside.
And has it lost any heat?
Uh-uh.
That same sun that's burning us today burned our great grandparents
Yep.
when they were alive.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I guess I'll read 75 too. And then we'll let Donnie do something. That's it. And the leaders of the heads of 1,000 who are placed over the whole creation and over all the stars have also to do with the 4 intercalary days, being inseparable from their office. Thank you. Correct me. I need it. Getting where I can't see either.
Really?
It's all kind of running together. According to the reckoning of the year, and these render service on the 4 days which are not reckoned, in the reckoning of the year. And owing to them, men go wrong therein, for those luminaries truly render service on the world stations. One in the first portal, one
It's talking about this extra day.
Mm-hmm.
It's talking about this day here
Mm-hmm.
that of each season. You have one in the first portal. So let's see here. Let me get the first portal. It's kind of going backwards here. It's talking about that extra day that's added, the 31st day.
Uh-huh.
There's one in the first portal. What does it say next?
One in the first portal, one in the third portal, and one in the fourth, and one in the sixth. So first, third, fourth, and sixth.
Okay, third. Let's see, I think it's talking about this day then, rather.
Yeah.
The head of the season.
I think so, yeah.
That's the third portal, and then you said one in the first portal?
Fourth and
The
sixth.
first, the third, the fourth, and the sixth.
Okay, here's the one in the first portal. That's the winter solstice. It's talking about the season day.
Yeah. The start of the season.
The start of the season.
So you got
one in the,
spring,
yeah,
you got summer,
One
you
in
got
the
autumn, and you got winter.
yeah.
One
So
in
the
the
one in the
first.
You
fourth
don't
portal.
really call it fall, it calls it autumn, right?
Well, that's what people call it fall, yeah.
But I mean,
Okay, one in the fourth portal, that's the summer solstice.
what are the seasons? What's the difference in fall and autumn? The same, right? They're
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
The third quarter, the fourth quarter.
Okay.
And then here's the one in the,
Sixth.
I'll be honest with you, this is my
Fourth quarter,
favorite
fourth.
time of the year though, right
fourth
here.
portal.
Yeah.
It starts,
When
when
it
it
starts
starts
getting cool.
cool and yeah. I just don't like the time change. I don't like that part of it.
You don't like losing the day?
I don't like losing the length of the day.
Yeah.
I like the length of the day.
I do too.
But most people ain't got nothing to do, so it don't bother them. I just hate sitting in the dark all the time,
Yeah.
you know. But okay. And the exactness of the year is accomplished through its separate 364 stations.
Where you at? What, where?
Down two.
The end of two.
Oh, okay.
Three. Now I'm on three. For the signs and the times and the years and the days, the angel Uriel showed to me, whom Yahuwah of glory has set forever over all the luminaries of the heaven and in the world, that they should rule on the face of the heaven and be seen on the earth, and be leaders for the day and the night, the sun, moon, and the stars, and all the ministering creatures which make their revolution in all the chariots of the heavens.
Just think how important a job he had. Uriel was one of the
Heaven.
archangels.
I shouldn't have said heaven's heaven. Yeah,
And he's over all of the luminaries.
right.
Yeah.
You know how many stars are up there?
You can't count them.
Yeah.
You can't count.
There's like,
But you can't count the
Millions.
hairs on your head, and he knows the number
Right.
of the hairs on your
so
head.
he's over all the
Yeah.
luminaries, which are actually angels, doing a job.
I tell you what, me and my daughter, we had a telescope. Her granddaddy let her borrow, and I don't know, back, you know, I got made fun of a long time back about the flat Earth, but I believed it probably, I don't know, 10 years ago probably, and I started looking at that telescope at these stars, and there's one particular star in the south.
York Star.
It's got these beautiful colors in it, and it's just orb and light, and it pulsates.
Yeah.
It pulsates and then goes out. It kind of pulsates. It's not what they've showed us on television, man. Get your telescope. Look for yourself.
You
Don't
can really-
listen to somebody
You
that
can
didn't
really
die
see it
for you.
out here where it's dark. You can't hardly see them in the city because too much light.
No, but there's one in the south. I don't know if you can see it from your house, but it's kind of like southeast, just a hair.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe 5 o'clock south, and it's the beautiful star I've seen.
Really?
And I haven't looked at the eastern star.
What
and
time of
it's
year were
usually really bright in the wintertime.
What time of year were you looking at?
About this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Me and my daughter JC, we would watch it
Yeah.
and look at it. It's beautiful.
Hmm.
But it would pulsate these colors,
They
like the throne of God colors, like
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
They say they all have their own glory. Each one different.
Yeah, they're all different.
Yeah.
They all look different. And you know, have you ever seen when people play music, I think they got these. I can't remember how they do it, but they send off these frequencies. Is it in the water or is it? How do they do it? But anyway, they all look different. Like the evil music looks different
yeah.
than the beautiful music.
Water, I think.
Yeah.
It's something like it's something. It's I don't know, there's something to it. In like manner, 12 doors Uriel showed me open in the circumference of the sun's chariot in the heaven, through which the rays of the sun break forth, and from them is warmth diffused over the earth, when they are opened at their appointed seasons. And for the winds and the spirit of the dew, when they are open, standing open in the heavens at the ends, as the 12 portals in the heaven at the ends of the earth, out of which go forth the sun, moon, and stars, and all the works of heaven in the east and in the west. There are many windows open to the left and right of them. And one window at its appointed season produces warmth corresponding as these do to those doors from which the stars come forth according as he has commanded them, and where they set corresponding to their number. And I saw chariots in the heaven, running in the world above those portals, in which revolve the stars that never set. And one is larger than all the rest, and it is that makes its course through the entire world. Now I'm curious to know which one that is.
I guess the sun.
Well, it says the stars, and one is larger than the rest.
Oh, okay.
Stars that never
Yeah.
set. So maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you wanna read?
Yeah, here it is. At the ends of the earth I saw 12 doors open to all quarters of heaven, from which the winds go out and blow over the earth. 3 of them are open on the face of heaven, and 3 in the west, and 3 on the right of heaven, and 3 on the left. And the 3 first are those of the east, and the 3 are of the north, and 3 after those on the left, of the south, and 3 of the west. Through 4 of these come winds of blessing and prosperity, and from those 8 come hurtful winds. When they are sent, they bring destruction on all the earth and the water on it, and all who dwell on it, and on everything which is in the water and on the land. And the first wind from those doors, called the east wind, comes out through the first door which is in the east, inclining towards the south. From it desolation, drought, heat, and destruction come out. And through the second door in the middle comes what is fitting, right, correct, and there come rain and fruitfulness and prosperity and dew. And through the third door, which lies toward the north, comes cold and drought.
You know, in Enoch's time, it didn't even rain.
Mm-mm.
But he's being told, cometh rain and dew. Everything dewed and watered everything. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah. That's what I always thought.
Yeah.
And then it didn't rain till the flood came.
Exactly.
You think them folks were scared of rain after that?
And after these comes out the south winds through 3 doors. Through the first door of them, inclining to the east, comes out a hot wind. And through the middle door next to it, there comes out fragrant smells, and dew, and rain, and prosperity, and health. And through the third door, which lies to the west, dew comes out, and also rain, locusts, and desolation. And from the 7th door in the east comes the north winds, and dew, rain, locusts, and desolation. And from the center door come health and rain, and dew and prosperity. And through the third door in the west come cloud and hoarfrost, and snow and rain, and dew and locust.
Hoar frost. Is that like, what?
I don't know what the,
I guess just extreme frost.
yeah.
Like heavy frost.
And after these came the 4 west winds, Through the first door, adjoining the north, come out dew and hoarfrost, and cold and snow and frost. And from the central door come out dew and rain, and prosperity and blessing. And through the last door, which adjoins the south, come drought and desolation, and burning and destruction.
From the south. From the west comes cold frost.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it always comes out of the west? I guess is what this is saying, huh? I'm gonna test that this year. Alright.
It's all driven by the wind.
Yeah, the directions of the wind.
Yeah.
I guess that would be right because when the big hard freezes come, it's blowing from like Colorado down to this way, down into
Yeah.
Texas and stuff. So it would be coming from the west. Yep. And then the south would be pushing all your heat.
Hot winds.
And the 12 doors of the first quarters of heaven are therewith completed, and all their laws, and all their plagues, and all their benefactions have I shown to you, my son Methuselah.
Now Methuselah was Enoch's
Sun.
son.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's showing these quarters.
And it was Noah's great granddad.
Yeah. Showing these quarters out here on this page, but I'm gonna go back and study that.
So according to this, snow comes from heaven. It don't originate in the earth. It comes through those windows. Snow and frost.
Through the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think there's actually.
And didn't you and Larry Don say there's supposed to be a lot of snow this winter? According to that.
Well, according to that wise tale, but he don't say that in the book, go by
No.
persimmon.
Is that a
So you can't
persimmon?
go by that.
Is that a persimmon y'all cut open?
Yeah, we cut up a persimmon and had spoon in it, didn't it?
Yeah.
But that don't mean nothing according to scripture. That's just an old wise tale.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, when a boat ark blooms, winter's over
That's right.
here. When they bloom, that's
Well,
usually it.
So does pecan. When it blooms, it's over.
Yeah, and they call it an Easter snap. I know we don't celebrate Easter, but they have an Easter snap
Like
usually.
cold snap?
Yeah, it's
They
usually
have an Easter spell and a blackberry
a
snap.
blackberry snap. Yeah, it'll freeze one more time sometime. Don't get in too big a hurry unless you want to cover something up,
Yeah.
flatten it. Okay. Well, you can read 78 and I'll read 79.
Did we read
No,
seven?
we haven't read 77.
Oh, 77? Oh, okay, go ahead.
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Here, read it on this one, because yours is a little different than everybody else's. It is hers a little different than yours.
Well, I can read it on my.
Yeah, but it's
Just read it right
alright.
there.
We're following you. Keep
Read it right
going.
there.
No, just go ahead. And the first quarter is called the east, because it is the first. And the second, the south, because the Most High will descend there. From there will he who is blessed forever descend. And the west quarter is named the diminished, because there all the luminaries of the heaven wane and go down. And the fourth quarter, named the north, is divided into 3 parts. The first of them is for the dwelling of men, and the second contains seas of water, and the abyss, and forest, and rivers, and darkness, and clouds, and the third part contains the garden of righteousness. I saw 7 mountains, higher than all the mountains which were on all the earth. And from here comes hoarfrost, and days, seasons, and years pass away. I saw 7 rivers on the earth, larger than all the rivers. One of them, coming from the west, pours its waters into the great sea. And these 2 come from the north to the sea, and pour their waters into the Erythraean Sea in the east. And the remaining 4 comes out on the side of the north to their own sea, 2 of them to the Erythraean Sea, and 2 into the Great Sea. And some say they discharge themselves there into the desert. I saw 7 great islands in the sea and in the mainland, 2 in the mainland and 5 in the Great Sea.
You was talking about me and Herb was gonna plant some potatoes, and you said you need to plant them what time at night when you see something, the moon, what?
The dark of the moon.
The dark of the moon. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
And they won't make. You make a pretty vine, but they won't make no
Oh,
potatoes.
really? So when there's no moon, you plant
That's right. Darker than that.
In the spring,
In the
early spring,
Yeah. And
February,
March is the best time.
March. Okay. Okay. Plant your potatoes in the dark of the moon.
Darker than that. And vegetable make above the ground, you put.
So that would be in a
You know,
that'd be in a new moon.
Yeah.
That would be in a new moon
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
or a waxing crescent. Either one probably be all right.
You don't want no light.
So you want a new moon
Yes.
when you plant your
Dark
potatoes.
moon.
Huh? Makes sense. It does.
You can plant them in the light of the moon. You'll have the prettiest vines in the
We
world,
won't produce.
but they won't make no potatoes.
Really?
No, make a few, but not many. You know, you want to make a lot of
I'd
potatoes.
read 78. The sun.
I know the moon controls the tide of the ocean. You know that? When there's
Probably,
when
yeah.
there's a full moon, the
Yeah.
tide comes further in.
Right.
A farmer goes by the moon.
Yeah.
Everything is done by the moon.
And they say that when she had one of her babies, they said that when there's a full moon, a lot of women come in to deliver. It has an effect on water
A full moon. You talking about a new moon?
Full.
when it's full,
Oh, bright.
full of light.
Oh,
It causes it has an
Yeah,
effect
full.
on water,
Yes,
and it causes women who are pregnant to come in.
Going to
I've
labor.
heard that too.
So they said, man, when we have a full moon, we have a friend who worked in the maternity ward. She said it's like a nightmare around here. So many women coming in to deliver at the same time.
all right. 78. The sun and moon, the waxing and waning of the moon. And the names of the sun are the following: the first, Oriaries. I don't know, Arius, and the second,
Thomas.
Thomas. And the moon has 4 names. The first name as Anana, as Nyanya. The second, Ebla. The third, Benace. And the fourth, Ere. These are the 2 great luminaries. Their circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and the size of the circumference of both is alike. In the conference of the sun, there are 7 portions of light which are added to it more than to the moon. And in definite measures it is transferred till the 7th portion of the sun is exhausted. They are set and enter the portals of the west and make their revolution by the north, and come forth through the eastern portals on the face of heaven. And when the moon rises, 1/14 part appears in the heaven. The light becomes full in her. On the 14th day she accomplishes her light. And 15 parts of light are transferred to her till the 15th day, when her light is accomplished, according to the sign of the year, and she becomes 15 parts. And the moon grows by the addition of 14 parts, and in her waning, the moon decreases on the first day to 14 parts of her light, on the second to 13 part of light, on the third to 12, on the fourth to 11, and the fifth to 10, on the sixth to 9, on the seventh to 8, and 8 to 7, 9 to 6, and on the 10th to 5, on the 11th to 4, the 12th to 3, 13th to 2, and on the 14th to the half of a seventh. And I guess it explains it all. And all her remaining light disappears wholly on the 15th. So the 15th would be the new moon.
Mm-hmm.
And in certain months, the moon has 29 days. And one's 28, You know what? If you farm by this calendar, it'd probably be an awesome garden. You know, if you actually use this to garden. And Uriel showed me another law: when light is transferred to the moon, and on which side it is transferred to her by the sun. During all the period.
Okay, so where does the sun? Where does the light from the moon come from?
The sun.
Yeah. She don't have its own light. She don't have her own light.
Right. The sun always produces the light.
Yeah.
Even the Son of Man. During all the period during which the moon is growing in her light, she is transferring it to herself when opposite to the sun during 14 days. Her light is accomplished in the heaven, and when she is illuminated throughout, her light is accomplished in the heaven. And on the first day she is called the new moon, for on that day the light rises upon her. She becomes full moon exactly on the day when the sun sets in the west, and from the east she rises at night, and the moon shines the whole night through till the sun rises over against her, and the moon is seen over against the sun. On the side whence the light of the moon comes forth, there again she wanes till all the light vanishes, and all the days of the month are at an end, and her circumference is empty, void of light. 3 months she makes of 30 days, and at her time she makes 3 months of 29 days each, in which she accomplishes her waning in the first period of time, and in the first portal for 170 days, 77 days. And in the time of her going out, she appears for 3 months of 30 days each, and for 3 months she appears of 39 each, and night she appears like a man for 20 days each time, and by day she appears like the heaven, and there is nothing else in her save her light. Man, she's got a lot of stuff to keep up with. You know, according to God's law, there's a lot for the moon to do there.
Yeah, the moon, it gives a lot of information to men that farm. On the 7th year, you gotta set aside the land that you're farming, or it will not produce no more. That's like these people are keep cutting hay,
I
get
know.
bad worse and worse and worse.
You're supposed to let it rest at one year every 7.
Every 7th
That's
year.
at Sabbath. There's a
That's
Sabbath
right.
of the land.
And you don't have to let all of it rest. You let certain parts of it rest, and the next year you let another part let rest, and you pick that other one up and farm it.
Makes sense.
That's why we farm. We farm by the moon.
Yep. And like if you were to plant a fruit tree, I think it says, I think it was in Jubilees we read or something maybe, when you plant that fruit tree, ain't it like 5 years
Supposed to wait 5 years before you start.
before you start picking fruit off of it?
Yeah.
Or,
If you do that, it'll produce like crazy.
yeah. Yep.
Fruit tree or a grapevine or whatever. Anything that produces fruit.
And now, my son, chapter 79, and now, my son, I have shown thee everything, and the law of all the stars of the heaven is completed. This is replication of several of the laws. And, verse 2, and he showed me all the laws of these for every day, and for every season of bearing rule, and for every year, and for its going forth, and for the order prescribed to it every month and every week. And the waning of the moon, which takes place in the 6th portal. For in this 6th portal her light is accomplished, and after that there is the beginning of the waning, and the waning which takes place in the 1st portal in its season, till 177 days are accomplished. Reckoned according to the weeks, 25 weeks, and 2 days, she falls behind the sun and the order of the stars exactly 5 days in the course of one period, And when this place which thou seest has been traversed, such is the picture and sketch of every luminary which Uriel, the archangel, who is their leader, showed unto me. Okay, Larry Dunn, you're up. Chapter 80. Perversion of nature and the heavenly bodies owing to the sin of men.
And in those days the angel Uriel answered and said to me, Behold, I have shown thee everything, Enoch, and I have revealed everything to thee, that thou shouldest see this sun and this moon, and the leaders of the stars of the heavens, and all those who turn them, their tasks and times and departures. And in the days of the sinners of the years shall be shortened, and their seed shall be tardy on their lands, and fields, and all the things on the earth shall alter, and shall not appear in their time, and the rain shall be kept back, and the heavens shall withhold it. And in those times shall the fruits of the earth shall be backward, and shall not grow in their time, and the fruits of the trees shall be withheld in their time, and the moon shall alter her order, and not appear at her time. And in those days the sun shall sing, and he shall journey in the evening on extremely of the great chariot in the west, and shall shine more brightly than accords with the order of light. And many chiefs of the stars shall transgress the order prescribed, and these shall alter their orbits and tasks, and not appear at the seasons prescribed to them. And the whole order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners, and the thoughts of those on earth shall err concerning them, and they shall be altered from all their ways. Yea, they shall err and take them to be gods, and evil shall be multiplied upon them, and punishment shall come upon them, so as to destroy all.
I'm not sure what that's talking about, are you?
Well,
It's like,
kind of like.
it's like they're gonna change their, they're not gonna obey their, it talks about the, I don't know if you've read this or not, but it says the sun is actually gonna shine during the night. And the moon, you know, they're gonna act up, not do what they're supposed to do.
In the days of the sinners,
Yeah,
the years shall be shortened.
it may be talking about tribulation period.
I tell you something else though, it seems to me like time sped up
Sped up.
to me. And it may just be me getting older, but it seems like
This year has.
a whole day is like, man, if you don't get started early, it's gone. Like you kind of get a hold of it, you know.
Quick.
It seems like you wake up and you blink, it's noon already, and then it's time to lay back down. You know, it's like
That's right.
it just you can't get nothing done.
Yeah.
And what's really crazy to me is we got all this equipment today and all these nice tools, we can't get nothing done.
And still you can't, it don't seem like you have any time.
No time. Yeah.
These are all supposed to be time saving
Yes, and
machines.
that's
Yeah.
where did time go?
Yeah.
Hey, there's a song though that Johnny Cash sang. Let me think. It's called John Henry. It always kind of made sense to me. He said, John Henry was a hammer swinger, and then it goes on in the deal, and he's hitting these spikes, and he says, do engines get rewarded for their steam? I ain't seen it. Is there any substitute for bread and beans? You remember that? Something like that. And but engines, they don't get rewarded for their steam. I mean, you know, like
Machines don't get rewarded.
no. But like me and him cut that tree yesterday. there was a reward in just doing it. You understand what I'm saying? You feel like you've done something, you're in a better mood, you feel like you were productive, you got a reward by doing something. I don't know. To me, it's like the Mennonites that fixed my shop out here, you know, he's like, well, we just work 8 hours, and they gave me more than 8 hours, and they said, it's rewarding to work like that, you know, it's rewarding. Like I pour concrete with them when they ask me. They say it's rewarding work. It is rewarding work,
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Whenever you do something like that, people are, that's dumb, that's stupid. Well, no, it's not. I mean, I done something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people don't get it unless you've done it.
And what
No
you've
work
done,
is stupid.
No.
what you've done remains.
Yeah.
That work remains. For all
Yeah,
time.
when you look out there and can see something you've done with your hands, it's rewarding
Yeah.
to me. To me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, chapter 81. Or you can read 81.
Okay.
Yeah, your turn. You got to do some reading.
The heavenly tablets and the mission of Enoch. And he said to me, observe, Enoch, these heavenly tablets, and read what is written thereon, and mark every individual fact. And I observed the heavenly tablets, and read everything which was written thereon, and understood everything, and read the book of all.
Wait a minute, this is written on what?
Heavenly tablet.
So he ain't going to erase it.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
And read the book of all the deeds of mankind, and of all the children of flesh that shall be upon the earth, to the remotest generations. Would you say we're the remotest generation?
Mm-hmm.
From where Enoch was at the time?
What gets me is this calendar is written on the heavenly tablet.
Yeah.
And people will reject it.
Mm-hmm.
And God ain't gonna write it down and then erase it and then rewrite it.
Right.
This is from
And
creation.
he said, observe.
And we read at the beginning of 72, it's from eternity to eternity.
Yeah.
Okay, I just had to throw that out there.
Verse 3, and forthwith I blessed the great Lord, the King of glory forever, in that he has made all the works of the world. And I extolled Yahuwah because of his patience, and blessed him because of the children of men. And after that I said, blessed is the man who dies in righteousness and goodness, concerning whom there is no book of unrighteousness written, and against whom no day of judgment shall be found. And those 7 holy ones brought me and placed me on the earth before the door of my house, and said to me, declare everything to thy son Methuselah, and show to all your children that no flesh is righteous in the sight of Yahuwah, for he is their creator. 1 year we will leave you with your son, and you give thy commands that thou mayest teach thy children, and record it for them, and testify to all your children. And in the 2nd year they shall take thee, in the 2nd year they shall take thee from their midst. I guess the angel brought him back for 1 year, so he could be with his son and teach them all the things he learned. And
It says 7 angels, 7 holy
yeah,
ones.
and then it said they're gonna come and take him back, take him away. Let your heart be strong, for the good shall announce righteousness to the good. The righteous with the righteous shall rejoice, and shall offer congratulation to one another. But the sinners shall die with the sinners, and the apostate go down with the apostate. And those who practice righteousness shall die on account of the deeds of men, and be taken on account of the doings of the godless. You see that there? Those who practice righteousness shall die on account of the deeds of men. So apparently they're going to be killed by the godless, and be taken away on account of the doings of the godless. And in those days they ceased to speak to me, and I came to my people, blessing Yahuwah of the world. So the angel stopped speaking to him and brought him to his people and left him.
All right. I'm gonna read 82. Well, 82 is the last one. We'll let Dottie read.
Oh, it is?
Well, it's in this section. Then we go into the Book of Dreams and Visions.
Yeah.
Okay. What time we got there, Don?
11:19.
Oh, we're early. All right. Go ahead, Donnie.
And now, my son Methuselah, all these things I am recounting to you and writing down for you. And I have revealed to you everything, and given you books concerning all these. So, my son Methuselah, preserve the books from your father's hand, and see that you deliver them to the generations of the world. I have given wisdom to you and to your children, and those children to come, that they may give it to their children for generations.
You know, it says, preserve my son Methuselah the books from my father's hands, that thou deliver them to the generations of the world. So that is talking to us.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This wisdom, namely, that passes their understanding. And those who understand it shall not sleep, but shall listen, that they may learn this wisdom. And it shall please those that eat thereof better than good food. Blessed are all the righteous. Blessed are those who walk in the way of righteousness and sin not as the sinners, in the numbering of all their days in which the sun traverses heaven.
You see, the false church says you can sin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all sinners.
Right.
This says not to sin
Right.
as the sinners. Okay.
Entering into and departing from the doors for 30 days, with the heads of thousands of the order of the stars, together with the four which are within the calendar, which divide the 4 portions of the year, which lead them and enter with them 4 days. Owing to them shall be at fruit, and
That
not.
fault.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry. Owing to them men shall be at fault, and not count them in the whole number of days of the year. Men shall be at fault, and not recognize them accurately. For they belong to the calculations of the year, and are truly recorded therein forever. One in the first door, and one in the third.
Let's talk about the 4 days again, that they leave the season.
mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And one in the fourth, and one in the sixth, and the year is completed in 364 days. And the account of it is accurate, and the recorded counting thereof is exact. For the luminaries, and months, and festivals, and years, and days has Uriel shown and revealed to me.
Festivals. Not his festivals, not the pagan festivals.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
To whom the Lord of the whole creation of the world has subjected the host of heaven. And he has power over night and day in heaven to cause the light to shine on men via the sun, moon, and stars, and all the powers of the heaven which revolve in their circular chariots. And these are the order of the stars which set in their places, and in their seasons, and festivals, and months. And these are the names of those who lead them, who watch that they may enter at their times, in their orders, in their seasons, in their months, in their periods of dominion, and in their positions. There are 4 leaders who divide the 4 parts of the year enter first, and after them the 12 leaders of the orders who divide the months. And for the 360 days there are heads over thousands who divide the days. And for the 4 days in the calendar there are the leaders which divide the 4 parts of the year. And these heads over thousands are interspersed between leader and leader, each behind a station, but their leaders make the division. And these are the names of the leaders who divide the 4 parts of the year which are ordained. Milkiel, Amalek, Malaysial, and Nero. And the names of those who lead them, Adnarel and Jeshuel and Elamel. These 3 follow the leaders of the orders, and there is one that follows the 3 leaders of the orders, which follow those leaders of stations that divide the 4 parts of the year. In the beginning of the year, Melchizedek rises first and rules, who is named Tamanani and son. And all the days of his dominion while he bears rule are 91 days. And these are the signs of the days which are to be seen on earth in the days of his dominion: sweat and heat and calms. And all the trees bear fruit, and leaves are produced on all the trees, and the harvest of wheat, and the rose flowers, and all the flowers which come out in the field. But the trees of the winter season become withered. And these are the names of the leaders which are under them: Berkael, Zelabzeel, and another who is added ahead of 1,000, called Helojaseph. And the days of the dominion of this leader are at an end. The next leader after him is Helamelech, which one names the shining sun. And all the days of his light are 91 days. And these are the signs of his days on the earth: glowing heat and dryness. And the trees ripen their fruits and produce all their fruits ripe and ready. And the sheep pair and become pregnant. And all the fruits of the earth are gathered in. And everything is in the fields and the winepress. These things take place in the days of his dominion. These are the names and the orders and the leaders of those heads of thousands: Gedaliah, Kil, Hil, and the names of the head of 1,000, which is added to them, Asphal, and the days of his dominion are at an end.
You know, on this calendar, these fall feasts starting October,
Yeah, that's the first one right here.
like being October the 2nd.
Right there.
Yeah.
That one's the first.
Okay. Well, to me,
That's, what is it called? Feast of Trumpets.
yeah. And then you come down to the Tabernacles.
The coat.
To me, I mean, I'm not saying I know, but I'm not trying to put a date or nothing. But right now, I know all these farmers. We went and put glass in for some this week, just on a tractor. Helped a guy with a tractor knock his tractor glass out. Anyway, they're harvesting right now. They're all scrambling to get everything harvested and get in. And to me, it seems like the Lord's going to fulfill these feast days at the end of time. This is when he's going to. This is when he's going to show up. It's on the fall feast and the harvest time.
Yeah.
There's a song they sing, "Bringing in the sheaves."
Yeah.
You know. But you think about it, everything right now, everybody's scattered and trying to get everything together at the last minute. I don't know. It just makes sense. Once you get that calendar out right there, or that poster out, and show us that Jewish model. I guess I don't know if it's a Jewish model.
Hebrew.
Hebrew. Yeah.
The firmament,
The windows.
the windows.
And the sun, moon, and stars are under the firmament over the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's under the firmament over the earth, or it's supposed to be in the firmament.
Now the firmament comes down to the ends of the earth.
Yeah, it's rest right here.
On the ends.
See,
of the
Admiral Byrd that went down South America,
Yeah.
Antarctica, they saw this down here.
Right.
That's what they saw. And they immediately locked down Antarctica
Right.
so nobody could go down there. He literally saw the ends of the earth.
And Now you see the point to the firmament. The black part
Mhm.
would be the
They're
firmament.
showing it black, but it's actually clear.
Right, it's clear. It's like seeing
Molten
molten
glass.
glass. Yeah, Job says. And the
And
sun.
the blue that you see in the sky is the water above the firmament.
Right.
We're seeing the blue.
But look at the sun and moon. They're in the firmament that's
Inside.
over the earth, like a snow globe. You see that?
I see it, but in the Bible it says that he put the sun and moon above the firmament.
No, you're wrong.
It says in the firmament.
In the firmament. Genesis
Of
1.
heaven, but not the
Genesis
earth,
1. Now he put it in the firmament, and the firmament's over the earth. Look at verse.
but
14.
I'm reading it right now.
And God said what?
And God said, "Let there be light in the firmament
In-
of the heaven,
in-
of the heaven,
In the
to
firmament.
divide the day from the night,
Yeah.
and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years."
All right, look at verse 15.
15, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven.
Okay.
The firmament
first
of
heaven. To give light upon what?
on the earth.
Okay.
But it said,
They're not outside the firmament. They're in the firmament. God set them,
in the firmament of heaven.
but you're wrong. Look, it's not outside the firmament. The firmament's over the earth. Okay? And God set them, read verse 17.
And God set them in the firmament
Wait,
of the
slow it
heaven.
down. Slow it down.
Hebrew cosmology of the
And
earth.
And
God set them
in the
in.
firmament of the heaven.
In the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. But in the firmament, and the firmament, go verse 6. God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, let it divide the waters from the waters.
Yeah.
God made the firmament, divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so.
Yes. And God called the firmament heaven.
Yeah, under the firmament he gathered dry land together, under the firmament. And God set them in the firmament. You're thinking they're outside the firmament?
I was thinking it's above the firmament of heaven. It
No.
says it's in the heaven.
He set them in the firmament. Verse 17, God set them in the firmament.
Of heaven. That's what it
But
says.
the heaven is the first, is sky. It's
Yeah.
the first sky. This is
It's
the
where the
first
birds,
heaven.
the birds fly in the first heaven.
Yeah. Is there
There's
a
actually,
scripture?
there's actually 7 heavens.
Yeah, there's a scripture for that, ain't there?
And then finally there's a show they made called
He's
Seven
thinking they're on
Heavens.
the outside of the firmament, but that's not. What's the scripture that proves they fly in the first? Is it?
Well, it says the birds fly in the.
Here it is. And God's in verse 20. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly and moving creatures that has life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven.
Yeah.
There it is, verse 20. Yeah.
The birds are
That
flying.
fly in the first heaven.
The birds are flying in this area right here,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is the first heaven. And then above that you have the second heaven, third. Paul said he was caught up to the third heaven.
And the second heaven, they say that's where Satan and his dominions are
Yeah.
operating.
And God dwells in the seventh heaven.
They say a lot of these people prophesying today are prophesying out of that second heaven. They're prophesying out of, you see what I'm saying?
Which is where
Do
that's where Satan dwells.
you get what I'm saying though? What the scripture's saying? It's not outside the firmament. The sun and moon are in the first heaven. The first heaven.
Yeah.
And then above that, where is God's throne? On the seventh?
Seventh.
Above the highest.
And it's above the North Pole. It's above the north.
And the firmament is over the earth. And God's got the sun, moon, and stars in the firmament. Yeah. Y'all want to move forward or y'all want to quit right there?
It don't matter.
Let's go a little further.
Where we at now?
83. In the Book of Dreams Division.
Oh,
Boy, y'all partied longer than this.
What chapter were you on?
83.
Go ahead and read then. Yeah.
And now, my son, Methuselah, I will show thee all my visions which I have seen, recounting them before thee. 2 visions I saw before I took a wife, and the one was quite unlike the other. The first when I was learning to write, and the second before I took thy mother. When I saw a terrible vision, and regarding them I prayed to Yahuwah. I had laid me down in the house of my grandfather,
Mahalalel.
when I saw in a vision how the heaven collapsed and was borne off and fell to the earth. And when it fell to the earth, I saw how the earth was swallowed up in a great abyss. The mountains were suspended on mountains, and hills sank down on hills. And high trees were rent from their stems, and hurled down, and sunk in the abyss. And thereupon a word fell into my mouth, and I lifted up my voice to cry aloud, and said, the earth is destroyed. And my grandfather, Mahalalel, wakened me as I lay near him, and he said unto me, why doest thou cry so, my son? And why doest thou make such lamentation? And I recounted to him the whole vision which I had seen. And he said unto me, a terrible thing hast thou seen, my son, and grave moment is thy dream vision as to the secrets of all the sin of the earth. It must sink into the abyss and be destroyed with a great destruction. And now, my son, arise and make petition to Yahuwah of glory, since thou art a believer, that a remnant may remain on the earth, and that he may not destroy the whole earth. My son, from heaven all this will come upon the earth, and upon the earth there will be a great destruction. After that, I arose and prayed and implored and besought, and wrote down my paper for the generations, my prayer of the generations of the world. And I will show everything to thee, my son Methuselah. And when I had gone forth below, and seen the heavens, and the sun rising in the east, and the moon setting in the west, and a few stars, and the whole earth, and everything as it had, he had known it in the beginning. Then I blessed Yahuwah of judgment, and extolled him, because he had made the sun to go forth from the windows of the east. And he ascended and rose on the face of heaven, and set out and kept traversing in the path shown unto him.
Chapter 84. And I lifted up my hands in righteousness, and blessed the Holy and Great One, and spake with the breath of my mouth, and with the tongue of flesh, which Allah has made for the children of the flesh of men, that they should speak therewith. And he gave them breath, and a tongue, and a mouth, that they should speak therewith. Blessed be thou, Yahuwah, King, great and mighty in thy greatness, Yahuwah of the whole creation of the heaven, King of kings, and Eluah of the whole world, and thy power and kingship and greatness abide forever and ever, and throughout all generations. Thy dominion in all the heavens are thy throne forever, and the whole earth thy footstool forever and ever. For thou hast made, and thou rulest all things, and nothing is too hard for thee. Wisdom departs not from the place of thy throne, nor turns away from the presence. And thou knowest, and seest, and hearest everything, and there is nothing hid from thee, for thou seest everything. Now the angels of the heavens are guilty of trespass, and upon the flesh of men abideth the wrath until the great day of judgment. And now, O Eluah and Yahuwah, and great King, I implore and beseech thee to fill my prayer, to leave me a posterity on earth, and not to destroy all the flesh of men, and make the earth without inhabitant, so that there should be an eternal destruction. And now, my Yahuwah, destroy from the earth the flesh which has aroused thy wrath, but the flesh of righteousness and uprightness establish as a plant of eternal seed. And hide not the face from the prayer of thy servant of Yahuwah.
Let me read the next.
Yeah.
Chapter 85. The second dream vision of Enoch, the history of the world to the founding of the Messianic kingdom. And after this I saw another dream, and I will show the whole dream to you, my son. And Enoch lifted up his voice and spoke to his son Methuselah. To thee, my son, will I speak. Hear my words, incline thine ear to the dream vision of your father. Before I took your mother Edna, I saw in a vision on my bed, and behold, a bull came forth from the earth, and that bull was white, and after it came forth a heifer, and along with this latter came forth two bulls, one of them black and the other red. And that black bull gored the red one and pursued him over the earth, and thereupon I could no longer see that red bull. But that black bull grew, and that heifer went with him, and I saw that many oxen proceeded from him, which resembled and followed him. And that cow, that first one, went from the presence of that first bull in order to seek that red one, but found him not, and lamented with a great lamentation over him, and sought him. And I looked till that first bull came to her and quieted her, and from that time onward she cried no more. And after that she bore another white bull, and after him she bore many bulls and black cows. And I saw in my sleep that the white bull likewise grew and became a great white bull, and from him proceeded many white bulls, and they resembled him, and they began to beget many white bulls which resembled them, one following the other, even many. I think what this is talking about, it's talking about Adam and Eve. And was that 85?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Adam.
And he had two sons,
Cain and Abel.
right? And
Cain's lineage remained evil.
yeah, Cain, the black bull, he
Mhm.
gored the red one, which was Abel, and pursued him over the earth, and thereupon I could no longer see that red bull. Okay. But the black bull grew, and that heifer went with him. I think the heifer was like the sister,
Huh.
his sister. I forget her
Yeah,
name.
that's what it says here.
Oh, it does?
It says all one. The
Yeah,
first
as
daughter
one.
of Adam.
As one.
Yeah. And Eve, his sister. Yeah.
And I saw that many oxen proceeded from him, which resembled and followed him. And that cow, the first one, that would be Eve, went from the presence of that first bull in order to seek that red one, but found him not, and lamented with a great lamentation over him, and sought him. And I looked till that first bull came to her, which would have been Adam, and quieted her, and from that time onward she cried no more. And after that she bore another white bull, which was Seth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's all in symbolism.
Seth was holy.
Yeah.
Or
And after him she bore many bulls and black cows, and I saw in my sleep that white bull likewise grew and became a great white bull, that's Seth.
Right.
and from him proceeded many white bulls, which was
Would that be the
Enoch.
Melchizedeks? Would that be the Melchizedeks?
Yeah, they were Melchizedek's.
Melchizedeks.
Yeah. They were full, and they were known as the ancients.
Mhm.
See, not everybody back then lived to be 900 years old.
Only the Melchizedek.
Only the ancients, and the ones that were to teach his ways.
Right. Yeah, and
The
Abraham
Melchizedek.
sat under the house of Noah, according to the book of Joshua,
Yeah,
and was
and
taught.
Noah was a Melchizedek.
Yeah, Noah didn't just. He lived 300 years, and then the flood came. Then he lived to be what, 900
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
So there was a lot going on after he made it through the flood.
yeah.
Read 86. It's
Okay.
not very far.
The fall of the angels and the demoralization of mankind. And again I saw mine eyes as I slept, and I saw the heaven above, and behold, a star fell from heaven, and it arose and ate pastured amongst those oxen. And after that I saw the large and black oxen, and behold, they all changed their stalls and pastures and their cattle.
It's talking about watchers coming to
I think
earth
that's the angels, yeah.
to teach men. Okay, initially. So I guess the angels taught us first, and then the Melchizedeks carried on.
Yeah. And pastures and their cattle. Well, the angels taught evil things.
Yeah.
Well, they were supposed
Well,
to.
but there's some
Before
good
they
angels.
fell, they were supposed to teach the ways of
But
the
Uriel,
Almighty.
Raphael, Gabriel, all them showed Enoch.
Yeah.
You know.
And behold, they changed their stalls and pastures and their cattle, and began to live with each other. And when again I saw in the vision and looked towards the heaven, and behold, I saw many stars descend and cast themselves down from heaven to that first star, and they became bulls amongst those cattle, and pastured with them amongst them. And I looked at them and saw, and behold, they all let out their privy members, like horses. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen a horse's privy member?
Mm-hmm. This is the angels.
This is those watchers. And began to cover the cows of the oxen, and they all became pregnant and bare elephants,
Oh, Lord.
camels, and
This is
asses.
the Titans.
Yeah. And all the oxen feared them and were affrighted at them, and began to bite with their teeth and to devour.
Because horses need food and water,
Not
don't they?
And to gore with their horns, and they began moreover to devour those oxen. And behold, all the children of the earth began to tremble and quake before them, and to flee from them.
Mm-hmm.
This was those Nephilim, the Titans.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll read 87 and 88. I think this goes to 90, yeah. And again I saw how they began to gore each other and to devour each other, and the earth began to cry aloud. And raised my eyes again to heaven, and I saw in the vision, and behold, there came forth from heaven beings who were like white men, and 4 went forth from that place, and 3 with them, and those 3 had last come forth, grasped me by my hand, and took me up away from the generations of the earth, and raised me up to a lofty place, and showed me a tower raised high above the earth, and all the hills were lower. And one said unto me, Remain here till thou seest everything that befalls those elephants, camels, and asses, and the stars, and the oxen, and of all of them. 88. And I saw one of those 4 who had come forth first, and he seized that first star which had fallen from the heaven.
That would have been one of the watchers.
Right.
The leader, I guess. Azazel.
Azazel, yeah. And it told us that in chapter 1 or
Yeah.
something, or 2, yeah. And bound it hand and foot, and cast it into the abyss. Now that abyss was narrow and deep and horrible and dark. One of them drew a sword and gave it to those elephants and camels and asses. Then they began to smite each other, and the whole earth quaked because of them. And as I was beholding in the vision, lo, one of those four who had come forth stoned them from heaven, and gathered and took all the great stars whose privy members were like those of horses. Boy, that's something, ain't it? And bound them all hand and foot and cast them in the abyss of the earth. Boy, what was that doggy read? Well, that's a long 189.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does it go through 9?
90. We can stop at 90 though.
Yeah, that's right. That's all I printed on.
Man,
Man, that's a pretty good read though to 91. Let's go though. We can get it knocked out. It won't take long.
75 verses.
We'll split it up. I'll read part of it. Go ahead.
I can read part of it.
And one of those four went to that white bull and instructed him in secret. And he was terrified. He was born a bull and became a man and built for himself a great vessel and
Now, this
dwelt
is talking
on
about
it.
Noah right here.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 bulls dwelt with him in the vessel, and they were covered over. And again I raised my eyes towards heaven and saw a high roof with 7 water torrents on it. And those torrents flowed with much water into an enclosure. And I looked again, and behold, fountains were opened on the surface of that great enclosure, and the water began to bubble and swell and rise on the surface.
Floodgates.
And I saw that enclosure until all its surface was covered with water.
Fountains of the deep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when out there in the desert, they show that crater, but there's no ball in the
Yeah,
crater.
right.
That's the fountain of the deep that God opened
Yeah,
up. You
yeah.
flooded the earth.
Yeah. They say it was a meteor hit there. But
Yeah.
where's the meteor?
Where's the meteor? Yeah. Oh, it disintegrated.
And the water, the darkness, and mist increased on it. And as I looked at the height of that water, the water had risen above the height of the enclosure. It was streaming over the enclosure, and it stood on the earth. And all the cattle of the enclosure were gathered together until I saw how they sank and were swallowed up and perished in that water. But that vessel floated on the water, while all the oxen and elephants and camels and asses sank to the bottom with all the animals, so that I could no longer see them. And they were not able to escape, but perished and sank into the depths. And again, I watched in the vision until those water torrents were removed from that high roof, and the chasms of the earth were leveled up, and other abysses were opened. Then the water began to run down into these abysses until the earth became visible. But that vessel settled on the earth, and the darkness retired, and light appeared. But that white bull, which had become a man, came out of that vessel, and the 3 bulls with him. And one of those 3 were white, like that bull. And one of them was red as blood, and one black. And that white bull departed from them.
You know, Noah was albino, wouldn't he? Don't it describe him as being like an albino?
Yeah, I think so. He was like real white
Mm-hmm.
colored.
Okay. That makes sense, though.
Mm-hmm. And they began to bring out beasts of the field and birds, so that there arose different genera: lions, tigers, wolves, dogs, hyenas, wild boars, foxes, squirrels, swine, falcons, vultures, kites, eagles, and ravens. And among them was born a white bull. And they began to bite one another. But that white bull, which was born among them, fathered a wild ass, and a white bull with it. And the wild asses multiplied. But that bull, which was born from him, fathered a black wild boar, and a white sheep. And the former fathered many boars, but the sheep gave birth to 12 sheep. And when those 12 sheep had grown, they gave up one of them to the asses, and the asses again gave up that sheep to the wolves, and that sheep grew up among the wolves. And the Lord brought the 11 sheep to live with it, and to pasture with it among the wolves, and they multiplied and became many flocks of sheep. And the wolves began to fear them, and they oppressed them until they destroyed their little ones, and they threw their young into a deep river. But those sheep began to cry aloud on account of their little ones, and to complain to their Lord. This is all kind of confusing.
Well, you
Talking
got
about
to,
Moses
it's talking
here,
about,
I think.
it's talking about Moses
Moses.
Oh, okay.
and them being in Egypt, and
Okay.
Egypt was persecuting them.
Oh, okay.
Talking about Moses being born among the wolves.
And that's why some of them were thrown away,
And
and
Moses is going to fled to Midian with the Ishmaelites.
oh, okay. And the sheep which had been saved from the wolves fled and escaped to the wild asses.
Is that talking about Moses?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the sheep, how they lamented and cried, and besought their Lord with all their might, until that Lord of the sheep descended at the voice of the sheep from a high abode,
Talking about Mount Sinai.
and came to them and pastured them. And he called that sheep which had escaped the wolves, and spoke with it concerning the wolves, that it should admonish them not to touch the sheep. And the sheep went to the wolves according to the word of the Lord, and another sheep met it and went with it.
Talking about Aaron, the brother of Moses.
Mhm.
And the two went and entered together into the assembly of those wolves, and spake with them, and admonished them not to touch the sheep from then on.
Kind of makes his word true, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
And on it I saw the wolves, and how they more harshly oppressed the sheep with all their power, and the sheep cried aloud. And the Lord came to the sheep, and they began to beat those wolves, and the wolves began to make lamentation, but the sheep became quiet and ceased to cry out. And I saw the sheep until they departed from among the wolves, but the eyes of the wolves were blinded. And the wolves departed in pursuit of the sheep with all their power. And the Lord of the sheep went with them as their leader, and all his sheep followed him. And his face was dazzling and glorious and terrible to behold. But the wolves began to pursue those sheep until they reached a sea of water.
About the Red Sea.
Mhm.
And that sea was divided, and the water stood on this side and on that before their face. And their Lord led them and placed himself between them and the wolves. And as those wolves had not yet seen the sheep, they proceeded into the midst of that sea. And the wolves followed the sheep, and those wolves ran after them into that sea.
Mm.
And when they saw the Lord of the sheep, they turned to flee before his face. But that sea gathered itself together and became as it had been created. And the water swelled and rose until it covered the wolves. And I watched until all the wolves who pursued those sheep perished and were drowned. But the sheep escaped from that water and went out into a wilderness where there was no water and no grass, and they began to open their eyes in the sea. And I saw the Lord of the sheep pasturing them and giving them water and grass, and that sheep going and leading them. And the sheep ascended to the summit of that high rock, and the Lord of the sheep sent it to them.
Moses goes up on Sinai here.
And after that I saw the Lord of the sheep who stood before them, and his appearance was great and terrible and majestic. And all those sheep saw him and were afraid before his face. And they all feared and trembled because of him. And they cried to that sheep which was among them, "We are not able to stand before our Lord or to behold him." And that sheep which led them again ascended to the summit of that rock. But the sheep began to be blinded and to wander from the way which he had showed them. But that sheep did not realize it. And the Lord of the sheep was very angry with them. And that sheep discovered it and went down from the summit of the rock and came to the sheep and found the greatest part of them blinded and fallen away.
Mm.
And when they saw it, they feared and trembled at
Can
its
you fall away?
presence.
Go to this.
I'm just saying.
When they saw it, they feared and trembled at its presence, and desired to return to their folds. And that sheep took other sheep with it, and came to those sheep which had fallen away, and began to slay them. And the sheep feared its presence, and thus that sheep brought back those sheep that had fallen away, and they returned to their folds. And I saw in this vision until that sheep became a man, and built a house for the Lord of the sheep, and placed all the sheep in that house. And I saw unto this sheep which had met that sheep, which led them, fell asleep, which died. And I saw until all the great sheep perished, and little ones arose in their place, and they came to a pasture, and approached a stream of water. Then that sheep, their leader, which had become a man, withdrew from them and fell asleep. And all the sheep looked for it, and cried over it with great crying. And I saw until they left off crying for that sheep, and crossed that stream of water. And there arose the two sheep as leaders in the place of those which had led them and fallen asleep. And I saw unto the sheep came to a good place, and a pleasant and glorious land.
Promised land.
And I saw unto those sheep were satisfied, and that house stood among them in the pleasant land. And sometimes their eyes were opened, and sometimes blinded, until another sheep arose and led them and brought them all back, and their eyes were opened. I wonder why he relates all this to animals instead of to people.
He's dreaming. He's having a dream.
Yeah, to me it's interesting because Moses would have sat under Noah's teaching,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Who?
would Moses have sat under?
No, Moses didn't, but Abraham did.
Abraham did.
Yeah.
But it looked like it would have been passed down, and Moses would have heard this.
Yeah. It was.
And he could have had faith in the Lord by reading this story if he was a chosen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to read 42 and give you a break?
Basically, Enoch's seeing all of this from back in his day.
Right.
All of this, all that's going
All the way
happen.
up, yeah.
I'm on verse 40.
40?
Mm-hmm.
Mine says 42. It says, and the dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the dogs and the foxes and the wild boars began to devour those sheep till Yahuwah of the sheep raised up another sheep and ram from their midst, which led them. And that
Who does it say the ram is?
it says David saw him as a dog, perhaps.
Okay. So King
Samuel,
David.
Goliath. And that ram began to butt on either side those dogs, foxes, and wild boars till he had destroyed them all. The ram is King Saul who died. Let's see. And the sheep whose eyes were open saw that ram which was amongst the sheep, till it forsook its glory and began to butt those sheep and trample upon them and behave itself unseemly. Samuel lamb sent to David. And Yahuwah of the sheep sent the lamb to another lamb and raised it to being a ram, a leader of the sheep, instead of that ram which had forsaken its glory.
So after the ram had forsaken glory was
Saul.
Saul.
Mm-hmm.
And it went to it and spake to it alone and raised it to begin a ram and made it the prince and leader of the sheep. But during all these things, those dogs oppressed the sheep. So David has to flee. And the first ram pursued that second ram, and that second ram arose and fled before it. And I saw till those dogs pulled down the first ram. And the second ram arose and led the little sheep. And those sheep grew and multiplied, but all the dogs and foxes and wild boars feared and fled before it. And that ram butted and killed the wild beast, and those wild beasts had no longer any power among the sheep, and robbed them no more of aught. And that ram begot many sheep and fell asleep, and a little sheep became ram in its stead, and became prince and leader of those sheep.
That'd be Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that house That's talking about King Solomon built the temple. And then that house became great and broad, and it was built for those sheep. And a tower lofty and great was built on the house for Yahuwah of the sheep. And that house was low, but the tower was elevated and lofty, and Yahuwah of the sheep stood on that tower, and they offered a full table before him. And again I saw those sheep that they again erred and went many ways and forsook that their house, and Yahuwah of the sheep called some from amongst the sheep and sent them to the sheep, but the sheep began to slay them.
That's the prophets.
Yep, that's what I was reading here, the prophets. They killed the prophets. And one of them was saved and was not slain. Talking about Elijah.
Yeah.
And it sped away and cried aloud over the sheep. And they sought to slay it, but Yahuwah the sheep saved it from the sheep and brought it up to me and caused it to dwell there and many other sheep. He sent to those sheep to testify unto them and lament over them. And after that I saw that when they forsook the house of Yahuwah and his tower, they fell away entirely. And their eyes were blinded, and I saw Yahuwah of the sheep, how he wrought much slaughter amongst them and their herds, until the sheep invited that slaughter and betrayed his place. And he gave them over into the hands of the lions and tigers, talking about Babylon, and wolves and hyenas, and into the hand of the foxes and to all the wild beasts. And those wild beasts began to tear in pieces those sheep. And I saw that he forsook that their house and their tower, and gave them all into the hands of lions to tear and devour them into the hand of the wild beast. Now we're getting into Daniel, ain't we? And I began to cry along with all my power, and to appeal to Yahuwah of the sheep, and to represent to him in regard to the sheep that they were devoured by all the wild beasts. But he remained unmoved, though he saw it, and rejoiced that they were devoured and swallowed and robbed, and left them to be devoured in the hand of all the beasts. And he called 70 shepherds, and cast those sheep to them, that they might pasture them. And he spake to the shepherds and their companions, let each individual of you pasture the sheep henceforth, and everything that I shall command you that do ye. I'm gonna let Dottie read right there.
What verse are you on?
60.
And I'll keep going. And I will deliver them over unto you duly numbered, and tell you which of them are to be destroyed, and them destroy ye. And he gave over unto them those sheep. He called another and spake unto him, observe and mark everything that the shepherds will do to those sheep, for they will destroy more of them than I have commanded them. And every excess and the destruction which will be wrought through the shepherds recorded, namely how many they destroy according to the command, and how many according to their own caprice, record against every individual shepherd all the destruction he effects, and read out before me by number how many they destroy and how many they deliver over for destruction, that I may have this as a testimony against them, and know every deed of the shepherds, that I may comprehend and see what they do, whether or not they abide by my command which I have commanded them. But they shall not know it, and thou shalt not declare it to them, nor admonish them, but only record against each individual all the destruction which the shepherds effect each in his time, and lay it all before me. This is, the shepherds have seasons, and each has a time. And I saw till those shepherds pasture in their seasons, and they began to slay and destroy more than they were bidden. And they delivered those sheep into the hand of the lions, and the lions and tigers ate and devoured the greater part of those sheep. and the wild boars ate along with them. And they burnt that tower and demolished that house. And I became exceedingly sorrowful over that tower, because that house of the sheep was demolished. And afterwards I was innumerable to see if those sheep entered that house.
Unable.
Enable that house. And the shepherds and their associates delivered over those sheep to all the wild beasts to devour them, and each one of them received in his time a definite number. It was written by the other a book, how many each one of them destroyed of them. And each one slew and destroyed many more than was prescribed, and I began to weep and lament on account of those sheep. And thus in the vision I saw that one who wrote how he wrote down every one that was destroyed by those shepherds day by day, and carried up and laid down and showed actually the whole book to Yahuwah of the sheep, even everything that they had done, and all that each one of them had made away with, and all that they had given over to destruction. And the book was read before Yahuwah of the sheep, and he took the book from his hand and read it and sealed it and lay it down. And forthwith I saw how the shepherds pastured for 12 hours, and behold, 3 of the sheep turned back and came and entered and began to build up all things that had fallen down of that house. But the wild boars turned to hinder them, but they were not able.
That's when they came back from Babylon, began to rebuild the temple. Who was that, Nehemiah?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And they began again to build as before. And this is talking about first Esdras.
Yeah.
The temple building is renewed and completed under King Darius. And they read up that tower, and it was named the High Tower, and they began again to place a table before the tower. But all the bread on it was polluted and not pure. And as touching all this, the eyes of those sheep were blinded, so that they saw not, and the eyes of their shepherds likewise. And they delivered them in large numbers to the shepherds for destruction, and they trampled the sheep with their feet and devoured them. And Yahuwah of the sheep remained unmoved till all the sheep were dispersed over the field and mingled with them. And they did not save them out of the hand of the beast. And this one who wrote the book carried it up and showed it and read it before Yahuwah of the sheep, and implored him on their account, and besought him on their account, as he showed him all the doings of the shepherds, and gave testimony before him against all the shepherds. And he took the actual book and laid it down beside him and departed. All right, somebody else can start reading right there.
Are we reading 90?
90.
We're reading 290. No, I mean, I stopped at 89. I'll keep going.
I thought.
And I saw till that in this manner 35 shepherds undertook the pasturing of the sheep. And they severally completed their periods, as did the first, and others received them into their hands to pasture them for the period. Each shepherd in his own period. And after that I saw in my vision all the birds of heaven coming, the eagles, the vultures, the kites, the ravens, but the eagles led all the birds. And they began to devour those sheep, and to pick out their eyes, and to devour their flesh. And the sheep cried out, because their flesh was being devoured by the birds. And as for me, I looked and lamented in my sleep over that shepherd who pastured the sheep. And I saw until those sheep were devoured by the dogs and eagles and kites, and they left neither flesh nor skin nor sinew remaining on them, till only their bones stood there. And their bones too fell on the earth, and the sheep became few. And I saw until the 23 had undertaken the pasturing and completed in the several periods 58 times. But behold, lambs were born by those white sheep they began to open their eyes and to see and cry to the sheep. Yea, they cried to them, but they did not hearken to what they said to them, but were exceedingly deaf, and their eyes were very exceedingly blinded. This is talking about John the Baptist. And I was talking about the Qumran local writings.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw in the vision how the ravens flew upon those lambs and took one of those lambs and dashed the sheep into pieces, and devoured them. And I saw till horns grew upon those lambs, and the ravens cast down their horns. And I saw till they sprouted a great horn of one of those sheep, and their eyes were open. And it looked at them, and their eyes were open. And it cried to the sheep, and the rams saw it, and all ran to it. And notwithstanding all those eagles and vultures and ravens and kites still kept tearing the sheep and swooping down upon them and devouring them. Still the sheep remained silent, but the lambs laminated and cried out. And those ravens fought and battled with it and sought to lay low its horn, but they had no power over it. And I saw till the shepherds and the eagles and those vultures and kites came, and they carried to the ravens that they should break the horn of that ram, and they battled and fought with it, and it battled with them and cried that its help might come. We're close. I got a few more verses to read. Yeah, we're close. And I saw till that man who wrote down the names of the shepherds and carried up into the presence of Yahuwah the sheep came, and helped and showed it everything. He had come down for the help of that ram. And I saw till Yahuwah the sheep came unto them in wrath. And all who saw him fled, and they all fell into a shadow from before his face. All the eagles and vultures and ravens and kites were gathered together, and there came with all the sheep of the field, yea, they all came together and helped each other to break that horn of the ram. And I saw that man who wrote the book according to the command of Yahuwah till open that book concerning the destruction which those 12 last shepherds had wrought, and showed that they had destroyed much more than their predecessors before Yahuwah of the sheep. And I saw till Yahuwah the sheep came unto them, and took in his hand the staff of his wrath, and smote the earth, and the earth clave asunder, and all the beasts and all the birds of heaven fell from among those sheep, and were swallowed up in the earth, and it covered them. And I saw till a great sword was given to the sheep, and the sheep proceeded against all the beasts of the field to slay them, and all the beasts of the birds of the heaven fled before their face. And I saw till a throne was erected in the pleasant land, and Yahuwah the sheep set himself thereon, and the other took the seal books and opened those books before Yahuwah of the sheep. And Yahuwah called those men the 7 first white ones. Let's see. And the books were open, Revelation 20:12. And commanded that they should bring before him, beginning with the first star, which led the way all the stars, whose privy members were like those of horses. And they brought them all before him. And he said to that man who wrote before him, being one of those 7 white ones, and said unto him, take those 70 shepherds to whom I delivered the sheep, and who taking them on their own authority slew more than I commanded them. And behold, they were all bound, and I saw they all stood before him. And the judgment was held first over the stars, and they were judged and found guilty, and went to the place of condemnation, and they were cast into the abyss, full of fire and flaming, and full of pillars of fire. And those 70 shepherds were judged and found guilty, and they were cast into the fiery abyss. And I saw at that time how a like abyss was opened in the midst of the earth, full of fire, And they brought those blind sheep, and they were all judged and found guilty and cast into this fiery abyss, and they burned. Now this abyss was to the right of that house, and I saw those sheep burning and their bones burning.
Oh. Give me a read.
Yeah. We're almost done though.
Yeah.
We're almost section 5.
This says the New Jerusalem, the conversion of the surviving Gentiles, the resurrection of the righteous, the Messiah. And I stood up to see till they folded up that old house and carried off all the pillars and all the beams and ornaments of the house were at the same time folded up with it. And they carried it off, laid it in a place in the south of the land. And I saw till Yahuwah of the sheep brought a new house greater and loftier than that first, and set it up in the place of the first, which had been folded up. All its pillars were new, and its ornaments were new and larger than those of the first. The old one which he had taken away, and all the sheep were within it. And I saw all the sheep which had been left, and all the beasts on the earth, and all the birds of the heaven falling down and doing homage to those sheep, and making petition to and obeying them in everything. And thereafter those three who were clothed in white, and had seized me by my hand, who had taken me up before, and the hand of that ram also seizing hold of me, they took me up and set me down in the midst of those sheep before the judgment took place. And those sheep were all white, and their wool was abundant and clean. And all that had been destroyed and dispersed, and all the beasts of the field, and all the birds of the heaven assembled in that house. And Yahuwah of the sheep rejoiced with great joy, because they were all good and had returned to his house. And I saw till they laid down that sword which had been given to the sheep, and they brought it back into the house, and it was sealed before the presence of Yahuwah. And all the sheep were invited into that house, but it held them not. And the eyes of them were all were opened, and they saw the good, and there was not one among them that did not see. And I saw that house was large and broad and very full. And I saw that a white bull was born with large horns, and all the beasts of the field and all the birds of the air feared him, and made petition to him all the time. And I saw till all their generations were transformed, and they all became white bulls. And the first among them became a lamb, and that lamb became a great animal, and had great black horns on his head. And Yahuwah of the sheep rejoiced over it, and over all the oxen. And I slept in their midst, and I awoke and saw everything. This is the vision which I saw while I slept. And I awoke and blessed Yahuwah of righteousness, and gave him glory. Then I wept with a great weeping, and my tears stayed not, till I could no longer endure it, when I saw they flowed on account of what I had seen. For everything shall come and be fulfilled, and all the deeds of men in their order were shown to me. On that night I remembered the first dream, and because of it I wept and was troubled, because I had seen that vision.
Let me stop right there.
That's it, isn't it?
Yep. It's a long chapter.
That is, yeah.
All right, Jimmy, pray us out of here. Go ahead.
Dear Father, we come together to rejoice in your day. Help us in all that we do. Bless us throughout the day. Keep our word in God. In Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen.